Folks, welcome back to the Priory. My name is Dave Jackson. We are back here in Butler, PA today. So my next guest is my finale guest for season 2. I'm going to take a break for a while from doing the podcasts, but I'll be back sometime in May. I just don't know when in May yet. So anyways, our guest, 1987 We Are the People Tour. He was the bass player. And if you're a musician that's been through Tops and Blue, you know who Lorenzo Sands is. He's one of the cats, one of the best. One of the bass players that I look up to with a lot of reverence. So please welcome 9.5-year veteran, 1987 stateside Tops and Blue Tour, Lorenzo Sands. On you. All right, folks, welcome back to the Priory. My name is Dave Jackson. I'm your host. Before we introduce our next guest, which I'm sure you can see on the screen and you probably know who it is, but before I introduce my next guest, this is the last episode of season 2. So this person is my finale guest today. I will be taking the rest of April off. Sometime in May, I'll be resuming, which will be season 3 of the Priory. And again, to all the folks that have sent me messages about ideas or wanting to be on the show, stuff like that, just keep them coming. You can't offend me about comments or complaints. Don't worry about it. I got a stiff spine, so it's no big deal. So, having done with the housekeeping, I cannot tell you how excited I am to have this guest. Listen, if you're a bass player post on Tops and Blue, if you were an instrumental, specifically a bass player post Tops and Blue 87, you have heard of Lorenzo Sands. Now, I'm going to try not to be a fanboy here, Sandman, because I'm a huge fanboy of your playing, of your humility, and everything about you is just, there was 3 people, when I finally made it to Blue, there was 3 people in the past, bass players, they always talked about. Ozell, Zeph,
Oh yeah.
and
Oh
you.
yeah.
And you.
Yeah.
Those are the 3 people, and those tapes got fed to me
hmm
on your tour. So, without further ado, United States Air Force veteran, 9.5 years. He was an admin troop in the Air Force. He's got 2 Wilcos, which we're going to talk about here in a little bit.
Uh-oh.
TIB,
Uh-oh.
TIB 1987, the We the People Tour, Lorenzo Sands. Thank you so much, Lorenzo, for being here on the show.
Man, thank you. Thank you.
Man,
Thank you 100%.
again, I'm gonna try not to fanboy too much, but I mean, listen, and again, you're a humble guy, but in our world, you're one of the cats, man. You're one of the people that us up and coming bass players looked at and said, you know, if I could be a tenth of this guy, a fifth, a third, a fourth,
Oh man, you're too kind. I
well,
appreciate you,
it's the
man.
truth. It's the truth. But what I don't know about you, Sandman, is I have, because again, we just talked before we went on the air here. You and I never really sat down, had a meal together, talked over our lives, compared things. We never did that. So here's my
Yeah.
chance to catch up with Sandman. So
Hold on before you go.
okay,
It was not any other reason other than how when we get to worldwide, we get so busy. I wanted all the bass players to get
yep,
together and just
yep,
talk,
yep,
because we had a big role in this program and the music, and
yep,
we wanted to make sure it was consistent. Go ahead.
yep.
Sorry about that.
No, no, you're good. I think maybe we're gonna have like a bass player Zoom prior
Yeah.
recall. We'll have a bass
Oh,
player
cool,
Tuesday or
cool,
something,
cool,
and invite all
cool.
the as many of the bottom enders as we can find. Okay,
Oh
so what I
yeah.
want to start with, uh, tell me I want to hear where you grew up. I want to hear about your family. Obviously, don't tell me stuff that you don't want me to, know about. I don't want you to, spill too much that you don't want to talk about. But give me your pre-military story. Where you grew up, how you got into music. Was there music in your family? That type of thing. Tell
I
me.
uh, gr- I grew up in Southwest DC, Washington DC. My dad was a minister. My mom was a homemaker at first, but then she started working. But she also, before that, she was a showgirl at the arena stage. Well, she did plays. She was in plays.
Okay.
And it really started like with my oldest brother, Benjamin. As a matter of fact, he was in the first running of The Great White Hope on Broadway,
Really?
where he played the little kid who was rubbing James Earl Jones'
Yeah, yeah,
face.
yeah.
And I had pictures of like him and Antonio Fargas. Matter of fact, Antonio Fargas was holding me as a baby. I think it was like 2 months old or something like that. Because Arena
What?
Stage was like right down the street from our house.
Wow.
And yeah. Far as the music in our family, our parents really pushed us to do something.
Hmm.
Sports, music, dance, entertainment, all of it.
Right.
And all of us started out with this lady named Mrs. C.C. Mann, who was the piano teacher in our neighborhood. So all of us around, each one of us 6 years old, 7 years old, we started
Hmm.
taking piano lessons.
Hmm.
Now, you probably can't tell, but she used to beat my hands. She used to tear them up because she said, "You gonna come over your house, over my house, and waste your mother and father's money and not practice? Get out." And she was right
Yeah.
because I wanted to play sports. I was with all my friends in the neighborhood and
Yeah.
everything, and that's what we did.
Yeah.
But when we became 10 years old, each one of us, as we got older, we joined what they called the DC Youth Orchestra. And I was playing cello. And from that, I played in the DC Youth Orchestra. I didn't make the jazz band at 12 years old, but at the same time, it got back to the thing where my older sister was doing dance and theater over here, and we
Hmm.
were going to her rehearsals. My older brother, because he was much older now, he was playing at night with touring bands that would come in town because he was a horn player. And he was doing all this like 15, 16 years old, man, you know. And my next to those brother, he was a percussionist in the youth orchestra.
Hmm.
And so I really followed all what they were doing. But then what happened was my brother had this guy, his good friend, neighborhood friend named Clarence C. And his claim to fame, he toured years with Art Blakely out
Oh,
of out of
wow.
college, out of college. So what happened was he saw that I was interested in his bass guitar. So he gave it to me and said, play it, practice it.
Hmm.
And I did for a little bit.
And how
I think
old
I
were
was
you at
probably
this
like,
point?
I think I was probably like 13,
Okay.
13. And but I was into sports. I wanted to play basketball. I was going to
Right.
basketball camps and stuff, Maryland University and all that stuff, and Georgetown University. I wanted to play basketball.
Hmm.
So I was in between those. But then what happened again, another change, my oldest sister was doing this thing called street theater at the Music and Art School, Duke Ellington.
Yeah.
And because we were going to all her rehearsals, and my high school, my junior high school was not too far from her, I started hanging out. And next thing you know, they put me on the set crew, or the sound crew holding mics. It was way before wireless mics,
Right.
dancing and all that stuff. I
Right.
had to run, squatted down in front of people while they were singing. It was
Yeah.
funny, man. We look back on it. I think that's why my knees are so bad now.
Yeah.
But so I did that and I loved it. I enjoyed it. But at the same time, basketball was pulling me over here because that school played my school when I got into high school, and so all the cats knew me as basketball player, basketball player.
Right. Right.
But they also saw me carrying a bass on my back all the time. I carried my bass everywhere,
Right.
everywhere. And then in high school, we had a band, a go-go band called what was it? MT Express, something like that. We was like a spin-off of BT Express, but we
Right.
was the
Okay.
go-go side. And we did a few gigs, what they call sock hops and stuff.
Yeah.
But it still wasn't my passion right then. Even though I played all the time, it just wasn't my passion.
Well, were you fighting the I'm getting good at basketball and I'm getting good at bass problem? Were you having that one
I
starting to
couldn't
get
see, I couldn't see the growth in bass, People
Okay.
saw it. I
Okay.
didn't see it. I
Okay.
mean, I was playing something. This guy said, "Man, how you learn that?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I sit up here and just practice or
Yeah.
play all the time, you know."
Yeah.
And then I had my brothers around who were always playing with somebody, and being with my sister who was dancing, and the band that they had for that are world-renowned players to this day.
Hmm.
Like I say, Clarence C., Wallace Roney, Eric, I can't remember, Eric Allen, I think was on drums. We had Michael
Wow.
Bowie. I don't know if you know Michael Bowie. He played with Michelle Camilo. And it's like, these are cats I grew up with, and
Hmm.
it's like they were going like this because yes, they did go to music school and Howard University, Berkeley, and all that
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
But I was way far from that. I was way far
Yeah.
from that. But
Wow.
yeah, and then I went to college. I got on a practice squad at UDC um,
Wow.
1 year and of course, got cut. But I
Yeah.
mean, they had killer team. Matter of fact, that year they made it to the NCAA's Division Two, 2 years in a row. But so the guys were players,
Yeah.
and but I hadn't picked up my bass the whole time I was in college, three
Oh, wow.
years,
Wow.
and then I decided out of the blue, my supervisor said, "Hey, what are you going to do with the rest of your life?" And I'm looking at him like, uh, "I don't know." And next thing you know, I went in the military.
Yeah.
Still
Okay.
didn't pick up my bass.
Yeah.
Still didn't pick up my bass.
Wow.
And quiet as kept, I had a Bradley, which was a copy of a Rickenbacker,
Oh, okay.
hardboard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but when I went in the military that first year, I played ball. That's all we did. We go to work, go to the
Yeah.
gym,
Yeah.
go play ball, lift weights,
Right.
run. That's all I did
Yeah.
was run. I used to like to run.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, I had a roommate who came in on a Monday and we were cool. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. The next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. That
Okay.
third week, Monday, Tuesday, he said, "Man, I'm going TDY." I'm like, I didn't know what TDY meant at that
Right.
time.
Right.
I said, "Oh yeah." I said, "Where you going?" He said, "Man, I just made this thing. I'm replacing somebody on Thompson Blue down in San Antonio, Texas." I'm like, "Oh, what is that?" He said,
Really?
and yeah, and he just like, "But check this out." And he never explained it. He never explained it. He said, "Hey, my whole baggage is coming in. Um, can you just unload it in the room and just keep it, in the corner or something until I get back?"
Yeah.
And stuff came in, and I saw a guitar case,
Oh,
another
wow.
guitar case,
Wow.
bass guitar case, a
Wow.
keyboard, and I said, "Oh man, he's a musician." Still didn't know anything about Thompson Blue.
Yeah.
Because he this is way before cell phones and all that
Yeah.
stuff,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yep.
sitting there, I'm like, for the first week, I didn't touch his stuff. Second week, I didn't touch his stuff. Month go by, I didn't touch his stuff. I came in from the NCO club one night and I opened up one of the cases that had a bass guitar and I said, "Oh," so I'm playing it.
Yeah.
Now, needless to say, he was gone for like 6 months.
Holy crap.
I'm playing this guy's bass in a room. I even went out and bought an amplifier because I didn't want to
Wow.
touch his. I
Yeah.
went to
Yeah.
Bill's House of Music. No, no, Chuck Levins in DC.
Okay.
Bought a small little amp, and I'm in there jamming every weekend. I mean, the neighbors were like, "Yo, man, I got a mid shift coming up."
And this
I'm
guy
like,
still had no idea you were playing with his
had no
stuff.
idea, and I didn't know where he was. He never called back or anything.
Yeah.
So this is the funniest part, though. Man, I'm came in from the NCO club, had it at like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. And I'm in there jamming. I mean, this no headphones on. I'm in there
Yeah.
jamming because everybody was out that weekend. It
Yeah.
was like a holiday weekend.
Yeah. The
Everybody
whole
was gone.
dorm to yourself.
I had the whole dorm, second floor to myself,
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was a NCRC, the orderly room, so I had my own room for a long time before he came there.
Right.
That was cool. Next thing you know, I'm like, oh man, that's probably the cops telling me to turn down. Ah, no, I open up the door, it's him. And I'm like, oh man, oh dude, man, I'm sorry. He said, man, I've been sitting out there for like a half an hour listening to you play. He said, man, oh man, you need to try for Thompson Blue because I just got off this tour and the bass player there, they were getting ready to kick him out. I mean, off the tour. And I said, what is Thompson Blue? And that's where it started, right
That's
there.
where it started.
He and I went and traded in my Bradley and bought this. It was an Ibanez. It was a Ibanez that's the body shape is totally different from the way they are now.
Yeah.
It was even like a single cut or something like that.
Uh-huh.
And we started jamming in the room. We had a drum machine. I ended up buying a drum machine,
Wow.
and at that time I played a little bit of piano and stuff. So we were like just going at it every night of the week. We would go to work, go eat,
Yeah.
go run, hit the gym, come
Yep.
home. We practiced until we fell asleep.
All right.
And then we started going to jam sessions where we would get up at the same with each other and work some of our stuff out. And we started going to open mics and just doing bass and guitar
Yeah.
duets.
Yeah.
And man, I used to listen to those tapes until they dry rotted on me. And oh
Yeah.
man, we had some stuff. I mean, we had some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And he taught me what I needed to do to get on tour.
Mm-hmm.
The problem was I was at Fort Meade. They
Oh.
had talent shows, but they never sent anybody past that.
All right.
So what happened was the lady at Fort Meade said, "You need to compete on the Air Force Base." And still, I'm like, okay, all right. So I called Bolin, and Bolin said, "Yeah, we have Air Force District of Washington showcase."
Okay.
I get there. I'm playing solo bass now. No
Yep.
band and
Yep.
everything. Just
Yep.
solo stuff that I came up with, songs I came with.
Yep.
And it was 8 people on it. 8 contestants.
Eight.
8 contestants. 8 contestants. It was
Wow.
like a couple of dancers, a girl played piano, a couple of
Right.
singers and stuff like that. But it was like 8 people. And I got selected. And I was like, oh, cool, cool. I got selected. I'm like, what does that mean?
Mm-hmm.
So they said, oh yeah, you have to go to the Air Force Academy for worldwide. I'm like, what is worldwide? See, he didn't tell me about all that part.
So
He
so let me
didn't.
so let me ask you this real quick. So there wasn't so you were that was a base level event. Now they wanted you to go to the command level
Yeah,
before you got to
no,
worldwide.
no, no. That was because Air Force District of Washington
Okay.
was its own thing.
Oh, okay. Right. I got you.
Andrews was part of MAC.
Yep.
Um, Dover and I think was MAC too.
Yep. Yep.
Air Force District Washington was its own. So that was like our command level,
Command. Yep.
even
It's
though
a
it was
very
just
small command.
one
Yeah.
right. And
Yeah.
so I was the only person to go to Air Force Academy. I didn't know what was going. I didn't know where I was supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
I flew out there. First of all, I think it was kind of warm out there, and I was overdressed.
Yeah.
I get there and nobody greets me, nobody meets me. I don't even know what I'm supposed to do. I'm like, yeah, I go.
Yeah.
Then two ladies walked up to me and said, "You look lost." It was Lorna Newton
Uh,
and this girl named Irma Trapp.
I know her. Yeah,
And
Irma.
they
Yeah.
said, "Hey," they said, "You look lost." I said, "I don't know where I'm supposed to go." You know, they're like, "Well, what are you here for?" I said, they said solo bass. "Oh, you're an instrumental soloist." I said, "Yeah, I think that's what they said." So they looked at my paperwork, pointed me in the right direction. Man, that was it. I get there and I'm seeing all these musicians and singers and dancers. My eyes got like this. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my
Yeah.
goodness. Oh, this is beautiful. And the Air Force Academy is the most beautiful place you ever want to be. Oh my
Gorgeous.
goodness.
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
gorgeous,
Yep.
gorgeous. And I got another sidebar funny story about that.
Please.
Well, because at that time I did a little boxing and I did a lot of running.
Hmm.
So I said, well, I'm gonna get up the next morning. I don't have to be there until 10 o'clock. I'm gonna go run and so I can be ready for this. Choo, 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 choo.
Run out of
That
air.
out the
Yep.
oh Lord. I almost died out there.
Yeah.
I said, what the heck is it? I hadn't really been out of DC other than to New
Yeah. You
York,
forgot where you were
South.
at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And man, then it was another guy who came up to me then, and we became friends too. And I think he passed a few years back. God, I can't remember his name. Ah, forgot his name. He didn't make the tour or anything. But so I still didn't understand the process because at Bowling Air Force Base, it was just 8 of us. Now
Hmm.
you're talking about 400
Yep.
people,
Yep.
you know, and bands, solo artists, singers, dancers, comedians, magicians,
Yep.
everything.
Yep.
So I was like, oh, this is great. I love this because, you know, going to hanging out with my sister at Duke Ellington, man, it was great.
Yeah.
And um, so when I came up to do my practice, what's they call it, the run through, the
Yeah.
tech
The tech
tech review,
rehearsal. Yep. Yep.
tech rehearsal,
Yep.
the guy said they kept saying uh, we don't have his music, and I'm like, what music? I'm just playing bass.
Yeah.
And so I guess they were going to try to put music to what I was playing. I was like,
Yeah. Hmm.
nah, I
Yeah.
already came up with an arrangement.
Yeah. I've got it. Yeah.
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 So needless to say, I think I did okay, but when I saw everybody else, I'm like, oh no, they are
Yeah.
killing it,
It's intimidating.
Yeah, it's very intimidating, but I
Yeah.
had a lot of fun with it because I was meeting folks and meeting other musicians and stuff, and folks that was from the DC area. I was like,
Yeah.
wow, man, this is what y'all doing. And so from that, um, we were at the banquet, and at the banquet back in those days, they let everybody know who won.
Yep.
And I didn't win, but I didn't care because it was like I just had a great time.
Well, let me
I
ask you
had
this.
a
Let me ask you this
Go
real
ahead,
quick. Was this
go
was
ahead.
this the 86 worldwide for the 87 tour, or was this 87 worldwide for the 87 tour? What's the timeline
See,
here?
I'm trying to remember, did I leave that same year? No, 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 no. I think it was the 87 for the 87 tour.
Okay. So your
Yeah.
first climb through all these progressions, you made it the first
Uh-huh.
time through. Your
Yes,
first
I made it
worldwide,
first
you made
time.
it. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And that's the crazy part too, because I only had like a few sets of clothes. And so I'm thinking I'm going back home
Yeah.
after this.
Yeah.
And when they started, remember at the Worldwise then, they
Yep.
were actually selecting the tour.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
And when my name was called, the young lady said, hey, they called your name. I'm like, oh, what do I do? She said, oh, no, you have to go up there. Because I think I was like one of the third or fourth person. Walked up there. I'm like, what did I get myself into?
Yeah, this
You
is you're
know,
talking about something a week's time frame from not knowing
a
what the
week's time
program
frame.
was
Yes,
to all of a
yeah,
sudden you're going to go do a stateside tour.
yeah. And not
Wow.
only that, we were leaving, we had to help break their stuff down, and we were leaving that night to drive to San Antonio.
Wow.
And I'm like, where are we going? I
Yeah.
only remember San Antonio from basic training, and that was it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and barely recognized all of that. And it was great though, man, when we left. And it wasn't so strict for staging where we wore what clothes we had or went out and bought some stuff and we hung out and partied, but we worked very hard,
Yeah.
and I got acclimated very quickly because the first day Mr. Griffey threw some music in front of me. I had to remind myself I'm not that great of a reader,
Yeah.
but hey, I'm gonna play this stuff. At that
Yep.
time, I had a real good memory too, and but the way they structured it, it was like 5 songs here,
Mhm.
5 songs there,
Yeah.
and then next thing you know, you're moving along. You're doing
Yep.
8-hour days, 10-hour days,
So 12-hour
12-hour
days,
days, and
16-hour
then
days.
Yeah, then the 8 and 6, we call it 18 and 6. It was like
Yeah, yeah,
no matter where the 18 finished at, you got 6 hours to be back. And I'm like, what? And it was cool because we stayed in the old dormitories.
yeah,
I
yeah,
think where the foreigners stayed.
yeah. That's where we
And
were
so it
at.
was, yeah, so we just walk across the street, and there was times the guitar player, oh man, Jim Quinn, that was my man. He toured the year prior on trumpet, but this year he made it on guitar.
Wow.
So I noticed his work ethic, and I'm like, man, he'll go home, wash up, lay down for a little bit, and he'll go back to the hall early and just be in it playing. So I
Yeah,
started following him. I
yeah.
started following him. And then the keyboard player started doing the same thing, James Amy. And next thing you know, we were getting tighter and tighter. And what I really liked about it, we weren't just playing one style of music. It was
Hmm.
like, I'm talking about, we were going back to the 1920s.
Yeah. All
I think that's
swing.
how, yeah, it was like
Yeah.
20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. We skipped over the 70s, 80s,
Hmm.
and it was a lot, but I enjoyed it, you
Yeah.
know. Yeah, man. Yeah.
Well, let's circle back to your roommate back in the dorm. Who was this
Uh-huh.
person? Who was that person back in the dorm?
His name is Donald McQueen.
Okay.
I forgot who he replaced, but
But he's an
uh,
official prior. He's in a prior.
yeah, he's an official prior.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, because when he came back, he had his stuff there, and I'm like, I got excited just looking at the stuff that he had. But like I say, after that, it was a little space before the competition
Right.
at bowling. So he and I was hanging out, playing everywhere we could, just in the dorms or in the clubs. Because between Baltimore and DC, it was so many clubs. And I look back on it now that some of them guys that I saw playing in the club, they are like heavyweights. Like, I hate to put a little pin in myself, but I walked in this one club and it had this guy. He couldn't have been no more than, to me, he looked like he was like 5'4".
Okay.
And he had this big drum set and he was killing. And my roommate said, man, wow, man, I would love to get to that level of playing. Here it is years later. I get to play with this guy all the time.
Oh, wow.
His name was Scotty Peaker. And this cat on the road to Crusaders, Victor Bailey,
Wow.
the bass player
Wow.
Victor Bailey.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's been all over. And I'm like, yeah, man, back in 88, six, I mean 87. I said, man, I know you. And then I had never knew of at that time of a Dennis Chamber,
Right.
right?
Right. Right. Right.
So same thing. I only played with him like 2 times. There was like jam sessions, and he sat in on a gig,
Yeah.
this band I used to be with. And it was like, yeah, he used to be at the club all the time too. And now I'm looking at he's this world-renowned drummer. I'm like, wow. And because a lot of the cats out of Baltimore were part of Parliament.
Yeah.
I know a
Yep.
lot of them started in Jersey, but he came to Baltimore and Bun and Dennis and I can't some other cats playing with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Wow.
my roommate, he was a good dude, and we stayed in touch for years. When I got back from tour, um, my first wife and I were dating,
Uh-huh.
and I introduced him to my wife's best friend, and they started dating, and we used to have a good time. Then he got out, and I kind of lost contact until I think the first year I did worldwide as a bassist.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I told him, I said, yeah, man, you need to come down, man. I saw your name on the plaques in the wall. And he's like, oh, for real? I said, I think I might have because I was going through all the tapes,
Right.
checking out old videos of people. And yeah, and I said, I think I have your, you got to tell me what show you were on and what act and all that stuff, and I can easily pinpoint it. But I lost track with him again, so I'm not sure where he is.
When you
Hope he's all right. Yeah.
think about the things that had to come together for that to happen.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Someone you didn't know left his equipment there,
Yep.
went
Yep.
TDY on blue. You don't know who the
Yep.
guy is. You're like, I think I
Yep.
might open up that guitar case.
Yep, yep. And
That
the
is
funniest thing
crazy.
about it, I had butterfly doctor saying, "Oh man, I'm sorry for going in your stuff, man." And he
Oh,
was
I'd
like,
have been
"No, man,
terrified.
he said, "I was sitting out there for half an hour listening to you play," and he never had learned the oh, what was that song? Oh man, um, and we funkin' now, the Brothers Johnson,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I was playing it right,
right.
and so I was showing him how I played it, and so it was easy for him now to play the guitar part because
Yeah, yeah,
he was a funky guitar
yeah,
player for you, just like Bernie, man. Oh my
yeah.
goodness, you
Got that
know.
Bernie feel. Yeah.
Oh
Wow.
yeah, yeah. Did I ever tell you, man? Bernie joined my band back in when did he pass? It was like
Uh,
put it this way, about 4 or 5 years before he passed.
okay. Yeah.
And he couldn't make every show, which I was cool with. And I have a picture of it. You know, we played a couple of clubs in the DC and Baltimore area.
Right.
And man, just to see, we call him Big Slim. Big Slim
Yeah.
just up there all cool like the
Yeah. Yeah.
guitar looked like it's up there by his
Yeah.
neck.
The guitars look that big on his body.
Yeah, yeah. Hands look like
Hands out
this.
to here.
Yeah, yeah. That's
I'm
the
like,
dude,
Bernie, are you
man.
sure you can do a bar chord with those hands? Yes, he goes,
Yeah,
yeah,
man.
yeah, yeah. Wow.
Oh
So,
man.
so when you went in the military, if I could back up a little bit, did you
Uh-huh.
want to, were you not forced, but did you think you had to go into the military? Because did you want to? Did you look at the Army, Navy? What was the,
That's
why
another
the
one
Air
of the
Force?
stories. That's another one of those stories, man. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I tell this all the time too.
Okay.
Um, I was in college and I was messing up
Hmm.
because once I realized I'm not gonna make the basketball team, these cats are much better than me, but I'm still can hang with them. Besides that, that's all besides the point.
Yep. Yep.
And I started working a job, a groundskeeping job with my at my mother's building where she was the manager
Okay.
and still going to school at night. So you know how that is. You start making a little money, you start taking less classes. Start
Yeah.
making a
Yeah.
little money, you take less
Yep.
classes.
Yep.
And then the living engineer, retired Air Force, good cat, man. I really thank him. He said, "Hey, man, you really messing up, man. Your mother done sent you to private school, Catholic school,
Hooking you up
uh,
with all this good stuff. Yep.
yeah, all that stuff. And here you are not even going to school. And I was going for architecture and engineering.
Oh,
I was doing
interesting.
good. I was doing good.
Okay.
And so he said, "Come on, I want you to go down tomorrow morning with me downtown." So I went with him. Now he said, "I want you to take this test." I thought the test was about trying to do engineering work with him, almost like an apprentice. So I took the test and all that stuff. And about 2 weeks later, I get this letter in the mail, and it was my scores and then the branches of service. I'm like, I ain't going no military. Uh-uh. No, 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 no. And the funny thing, something happened in the neighborhood where I was like, man, my buddies in there, man, they are, nah, man, I need to do something. Didn't
Mhm.
tell anybody and didn't tell anybody. I went down to the recruiter's office. Da-da-da, da-da-da,
Yeah.
da-da-da. Air Force, cool. They said, "Oh, well, this is the next time you can leave." It was like 4 months later.
Uh-huh.
And I told people, they were like, "You going in the military?
Wow.
What about school?" I said, "Man, I'm out. I'm out. Yeah, out." And that's what I went in. Can you hold on for a quick second?
Yeah.
I know we on the
No,
time
you're good.
frame.
You're good. That's great. I love how it look, I went over to his base. That's great. It's searching. Camera's searching. I'll go up there. That's hysterical. Now the camera's coming down here. Okay, now we got a wide view. That's awesome.
Okay, yeah.
Uh,
All right, cool. All right, thank you. I am so sorry, man. That was not
no,
cool.
hey, you know what's great? While you were
Uh-huh.
gone, your computer was self-aiming, trying to find you. So it honed in on one of your headstocks and one of your bases. Then it went over there to your showing
Oh,
Roger. then it went up to the picture above your rack. It was great.
Oh my goodness, yeah. They it's a setting on here that it'll
Yes.
follow you. Like if I move over, it'll
Yeah.
start
It was
following.
looking
And it,
for you. It was great.
yeah. But yeah, get back to it, man.
Yeah.
Mr. Bunch, I'll never
Yeah.
forget him. And I thanked him before his passing over and over and over again. And my mother thanked him too because I don't think I would be where I am now
Yeah.
had I not been in the military. I had a
Oh,
great time in the military.
yeah. Well, let's talk about that for a second.
Yeah.
Um, other than TIB, give me some highlights of your 9.5 years. Give me some highlights of things that other than TIB,
Um,
because we'll get to that.
definitely when I got married, and that's part of Tops and Blue too. Um, my girlfriend at the time, we had been together for like at that time 3 years, and she outranked me like I think about three steps, and she got an assignment to Japan.
Right?
She didn't want to go because she just got came in from England, Chick Sands,
Yeah.
and I didn't want her to leave. And I said, well, I still have to come back to Fort Meade. I still got 2 more years there. And so Linda Edwards made it so she said, well, if y'all married, I can get y'all together. So we had a day off in at Nellis.
Uh-huh.
I flew home that Sunday night. Monday morning came around, went down to Annapolis to the Justice of the Peace, got married, flew back out Tuesday, and at the end of the tour, we'll go to Fort Meade, pick up my stuff, went to Japan.
Wow.
That was a highlight for me. Now,
Wow.
that was one.
Okay.
Now, the other one was, like I say, I was into sports,
Yeah.
basketball.
Yeah.
We won the intramurals for like 3 years in a row. And at Fort Meade, our squadron was just like that, man. And the reason why I say that is because we got to practice against the Bullets, not the Wizards, the Bullets.
Wow.
And that was because they practiced at Murphy Field House on Fort Meade.
Oh,
You
okay.
know, this when they were playing at the Capitol Center back in those days. Yeah. So that was a highlight.
So
Yeah.
you were stationed at right there in DC, Japan. Where else were you stationed at? Were those the two main bases? Was that it?
Uh, it was mostly TDYs,
Uh-huh.
TDYs to like Korea,
Yeah.
um, uh, was it Korea, Philippines, and Okinawa,
Yeah.
and yeah, that was it. That was mostly it.
Now, did you go in? So when you went to the recruiter saying, I want in, did you go in open and you got admin or did you pick admin? How did
Oh,
that go?
now this is the story
Oh, I love it.
because I know it now. I school everybody. I say, hey, go in with a guaranteed job, something that you want to do. If the class don't open up, wait for it.
Wait.
Because I didn't know.
Yeah.
And I had the scores for a
Yeah.
whole lot of stuff,
Yeah. Yeah.
but they put me in admin. And not only that, I'm gonna give you a funny story about that. Basic training went well. We had a good time. I had a couple of bumps and bruises. But then after that, five of us from basic training went to the same test school in Mississippi.
Okay. Okay. Keesler?
We're in Mississippi. All five of us, no, four of the five, all went to Fort Meade.
Wow. What are the odds of that?
I'm gonna give you something even funny. Two of the guys out of that never been overseas, retired at Fort Meade.
Holy crap. The whole time
Yep.
there?
Now, yes, the job though, they worked in the support area and then they worked in NSA, which is on the
Okay.
same base, you know.
Gotcha.
So that's how they
Yeah.
did it. Yep. I said,
Oh,
wow. And I'm still friends with all of them, man. You know, we try to get together every now and then just as a reunion, you know. Yeah.
wow.
But yeah, I did not want I see when I realized that, oh, they put me in admin. Yeah, there was some jobs that I had as an admin that was real good. Like it was the organization called M23. We had to read over all the officers' performance reports.
Oh,
And so yeah, so I get to meet these high-ranking officials who say, "Hey, you need to change this word right here. The
Yeah,
regulations say you can't put this in here." You know,
yeah,
it's like
yeah,
get to shake hands with these dignitaries, man. It was
yeah,
cool, man.
yeah.
Cool. And
Oh,
I had great first sergeants. You
well,
know.
every time I've talked to a person whose life was in the administrative world in the Air Force, they're really the best at networking people.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Man, still to this day,
Yeah.
the people I met in there, somehow we keep in touch. Once, twice in 5 years or whatever, we
Hmm.
still keep in touch.
That's pretty cool.
And and even to the point where I got a crazy story. I work at the Commissary Naval Academy,
Hmm.
and this young lady brings in four mentally challenged kids to hand out pamphlets every Wednesday. And I looked at the one kid. I said, "Hey, man, how old is that boy right there?" She said, "He's 27." I said, "What's his father's name?" She said, "Mike Reese." I said, "I knew that boy when he was a baby."
What?
I said, "Oh my goodness." So I hadn't seen Mike Reese probably when the kid was born.
So did you just
20 something.
did you like see some features on him that remind you of
He
that
no,
older
he
twin?
looked not just features, he looked just like his
Just like,
dad.
oh wow.
So
Okay.
we used to hang out. He was in charge of the mail room.
Hmm.
And you know, I always had to bring stuff over there to him because I try to do what they call carrier at one time.
Hmm.
And yeah, we were tight. And I said, wow, I remember when the kid was born and you know, he was having issues and stuff. You know, but he looked just like his dad. So we reconnected after all these years, you know. And
Hmm.
that was great, you
That's pretty
know.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been trying to, my very first supervisor when I was stationed in Alabama, Gunter.
Hmm.
I just now got back in touch with him. He's a preacher in Montgomery.
Wow,
Yeah.
wow.
So he was my very first supervisor, the most wonderful man. I'm hoping to get down there and visit him because he's
Yeah,
like 8 years older than me, something like that.
yeah,
So yeah,
yeah.
I understand that. Hey, getting back to worldwide. Well, let's
Hmm.
back this up. Tell me about your Wilcos.
Oh,
You got two Wilcos. That means you were
the first one, I have to admit, I was on fire. To
okay.
me, I was
Yep.
on fire.
Yep.
And this was during a time when Kenny G was getting a little, you know, popular.
Yep.
I would say it's Kenny or Grover.
Yeah.
So any saxophone player that came up there, everybody loved it. They got the
Yep.
crowd and da 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 da.
Yep.
But I'm not saying that's why I lost, but I was just saying both times I competed against a horn player.
Really?
Both
So
times.
you got two. So was it both of it the same worldwide? Obviously, you only did one
No, no, no,
worldwide,
no,
right?
no, no. I only competed at as a
Instrumental
as
solo.
solo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now at well, I'll get back to that part. But
Yeah.
yeah, the first year I did a solo, something I wrote,
Hmm.
and um, competed against the horn player who ended up winning,
Hmm.
the Roger. And then the next year, what happened was I at base level we did the thing where Gregory Hines and Stanley Clark,
Yes, the tapping thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
tapping thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we got all the way to command level, and he didn't get selected. He was also a vocalist, but I think it was more that he couldn't go for past that level,
Okay.
and that was a Pacific PACAF.
Yep.
And so I still made it as a soloist. So I said, well, I'm just gonna keep the same song,
Hmm.
and I'm gonna add a little piece to it here and there. And then that's when somebody called me and said, "Do you want the band to accompany you on it?" I said, "Nah, I want to stay like this. I want to stay like this." You know, even like at Worldwide when we go to the tech rehearsals, they asked me to play the what I was gonna do, and I said, and that was the truth, man. That was the
Yeah.
truth. I
Yeah.
had the just for what I was going to do,
Yep.
but now that we're going to have the tap player, tap dancer, I had to change it all up.
Yep.
And I
Yep.
was still
Wouldn't make
thinking
any
the whole
sense.
time.
Yeah, it wouldn't
Yeah,
make any sense. Yeah.
it wouldn't make sense. It wouldn't make
Yeah.
sense. It would have been too
Yeah.
boring, you know. And it worked. And another one of those things, I was on fire, man. It was like It just came, and I had that in me where I can have an idea about something,
Yeah.
but it was only until I was doing it where I know I'm going for it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I would come up with this crazy line or something and just make it work. If I
Yep.
felt the audience do anything, I'm with them,
Yep.
you know,
You got to draw that
that's
energy. You got to pull that energy in.
yeah, yeah,
As
man.
the as the solo starts doing this, the energy starts coming in more. You go a little
Yeah.
bit steeper, a
And they
little
was with
deeper.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And no lie, I watched that video every now and then because I said, wow, how different my playing is now.
Yeah.
I said, I wish I could still do that. And every now and then I'll get there and try to do it. I'm like,
Yeah.
wow, you know. But
It's
yeah,
it's
worldwide.
interesting. Some of the things that we thought up, and I've told you the story. It took me from my first show was Jose Finn in '83, my first
Oh
GIB
yeah.
show. I didn't make my first worldwide till '91.
Oh
But for
wow.
all those different talent shows, it's the same thing. You're thinking, I got to tweak this again. I got to add. What do I take out? Do I show more technique? There's
Hmm.
especially if you're just going to play by yourself, which is what I ended up doing as well, just my
Yeah.
own things. You think what makes the most sense? What's musical about it?
Yes. Yes.
What's people going to say? That's just a bass player. You don't want to make
Yeah.
it sound like just a bass. You have to come up with all these little ideas and little things to do to make you stand out. Because again, when
Yeah.
the year that I got these, uh,
Mhm.
there was 15 instrumentalists,
Wow.
five bass
Wow.
players. Half of them were horn players. A couple. I mean, it was just all over the
Yeah.
map.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the trick is you have to stand out from the crowd.
Yeah.
Um,
You know what I
go ahead.
did in that, because remember back in the day we had 4 minutes.
Yep, yep,
And I said idea one, transition, idea two, transition,
mhm,
idea three. By the time I get to four, I'm doing this.
yep, yep,
And then the last 30 seconds of that, bring them back
yep,
down.
yep, and make them want more.
Make them one more. Yep. And
Yeah.
I hold that to this day. Even I do that even when I'm playing now.
Well,
Yeah.
this Wilco here,
Uh-huh.
that's Zeph. Zeph beat me. That
Oh
was the
yeah.
year that was the year that Zeph and I were in the finals.
Man, that was my dude, man. Look, look. Were you at the competition where he played guitar with this old man, or the guy was playing an old man? They were sitting on a park bench.
Well,
Oh, I think that was 89. That was
okay,
89.
yeah, no,
Man, let me tell you, I was like you say,
yeah,
a fan.
yeah,
Oh my goodness. Because
yeah,
Jeff was funky without being funky.
yeah,
He could, and because he had the facility to do anything he wanted. And I said, "Did he get it, boy?" And I had my camera. That was back when we had the big old cameras.
yeah.
I'm
Real
like,
cameras.
"Hey, get it!" And the whole time I'm saying, "Woo wee!" I like this dude because that's the other thing. We People may have thought we were in competition. Man, we were in love with each other, man.
Correct.
We
We used
wanted to
to
see
hang out.
everybody do good.
We'd hang out. We'd hang out.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Matter of fact, I'm gonna tell you another funny story.
please.
Zeph's wife was on that competition that year before they got married.
Uh-huh.
She and my sister went to high school together.
What kind of small world is this?
Hold up, and I still have pictures of her with my sister. They were all dancers and singers at Duke Ellington.
Right.
And so I knew Maria way before. I was like,
Way before,
I saw her. I was like, that's my
what are the
sister
odds?
right there. Man, it was small world.
Wow.
Small world. So Zell was like, I said, yeah, she can sing, bro. She can
Yeah.
sing. She can go. And she did. They did a duet. She killed it, man. Killed it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
We
What
grew
a
up together.
smart
It's
guy.
like 13, 14 years old, man.
That's crazy. Yeah,
Yeah.
when they announced the finals, it was me and Zeph. I was like, two bass players? What are the
Uh-huh.
odds?
Oh my goodness.
What are the
Yeah, man.
odds? Yeah, that was
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Donovan Francis, Donovan.
Yeah, yeah.
So Donovan won the Roger with me on the same night. So those were won on the same night. Donovan Francis and me and Eric Brandenburg put a trio together, two basses and a
Uh-huh.
guitar, and we played the dueling banjos thing, but we
Oh,
changed it. We changed it up, and
oh my goodness.
Donovan Francis and me and Eric Brandenburg won the musical potpourri category.
Oh, that's right. They used to have potpourri back
Yep,
then.
yep,
Yeah.
yep.
Oh,
Musical
I got
potpourri
one for
category.
you. We were at Yokota competing, and then they were gonna have command level there
Mhm.
after that. Well, we go back to the base, and we had a good band and all this stuff. And our drummer goes to the NCO club and gets into a fight the night before we were supposed to leave.
Oh no.
So what happened was we had a classical guitarist, right?
Hmm.
And I said, I mean, I didn't say it. Edleen Bailey, who is Philip Bailey's sister, she was running MWR at Yokota.
Oh, okay.
She said, well, why don't you have the guitar player play bass and you go play drums? So I played drums at our command level one year and we won. You
Wow.
know, yeah,
Isn't that
man.
the weirdest thing where you can come? I mean, Renee Brantley, you know Renee, right? You know
Yeah,
Renee Brantley?
yeah, yeah.
Renee's the one that wanted to put when we got to Scott Air Force Base on the way to Worldwide. She says, "I want to put you two bass players together, me and Donovan together." That was the
Yeah,
original game
yeah.
plan for musical potpourri.
Yes.
So Donovan and I were going to do the Linus and Lucy,
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
right?
Oh, that
That
would have been hip.
that was the game
That
plan, right? So we're playing it, and we're like, it was okay. We could both do it. We were trading off stuff, and then we played it to Renee. She goes, "Yeah, it's okay." She goes, "Go back and just kind of do." So I said, "Why don't we add one? Why don't we add a guitar player and do dueling banjos on the bases? Add a guitar player, the park bench scenario where you got a guy going
yeah,
by
yeah.
that's a kind of a pompous rich guy going by. Then you got the guy with the open case looking for some money because he's playing his bass on the street. Then
Uh-huh.
you got the guitar player on the bench behind us, waiting.
Oh man.
And dude, we
That
won. We Reenie's brilliant idea. We won that freaking robbery.
yes,
Crazy.
yes, yes.
Just by
And you
simple
know
ideas we
something?
put together.
That's what it's all about because sometimes like Mr. Edwards, people can't see the vision that he sees.
Hmm.
And don't even try. But when
Yep.
you finally realize what he's doing, now you can jump in and make it manifest.
Yep.
But there's times where even like to this day, and when I'm with bands or like quote unquote music director, and I'll say, hey, let's have these two do that. Let you do, and next thing you know, it's something totally different from
Different.
the norm.
Yep.
And it works. And it works, man. It
Yeah.
works.
Changing the recipe sometimes makes for some better food, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, speaking on that. My first year in Japan, other
Uh-huh.
than TDY, my wife and I we were walking down the Roppongi, and next thing you know, I saw this poster, and it had two black guys and two white guys on it, and it just looked weird. White guy had a banjo, other white guy had a harmonica. Black guy has a bass. The other black guy had a sitar.
Oh,
So I'm
okay.
sitting there like, oh no, kind of it's Dixieland or something like that.
Yeah.
So I said, well, since we're gonna be here, let's go and just check it out so we can have a few drinks. So we go in there. Banjo player walks out and he's playing stuff, and I'm like, okay, where the two brothers gonna fit in?
Yeah.
The bass player plays some stuff, set back like this. And the harmonica player is playing piano and harmonica, and I sit back like this.
Yeah.
And I look over at the guitarist with the syntax, the Lee Ritenour syntax. He's playing drums on the syntax.
Oh, here we go.
I sit back like this.
Yeah.
By the end of the show, my wife thought something happened to me because the 45-minute ride back to the hotel in the cab, I said nothing.
You
I
were so
said,
taken aback by that music.
what the heck? And she said, well, you know they from Virginia. I said,
Yeah.
I didn't hear any of that. They introduced themselves and everything. Matter of fact, I know it now. I said, I knew those two guys from someplace. They used to play at Williamsburg Busch Gardens,
Uh,
the two Wooten brothers.
yeah. I knew where you were
And
going
I'm
with
like,
this.
what? And man, I freak look,
Yeah,
and if you were in Japan during that time, every concert that came over there,
yeah.
they charted it out. Somebody was charting out all this stuff and coming up with books of everything
Wow.
and videos. So that next morning, we're sitting in the hotel getting ready to go to the train station, and they're on what we would be looked at as Good Morning America, and they playing again. And now I'm in front of it like this.
Yeah,
Oh my goodness. Who plays bass like that?
yeah,
What the hell is he doing?
yep,
Oh, so I went home. Shoot. Went back to my old Marcus Miller, Mark King,
yep,
all that. It was like, but he's doing something totally different.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that was a highlight right there, man.
That's a huge highlight.
Yeah, dude. And whew, my wife was
Wow.
like, she kept asking me, "What's wrong? Are you okay?" I said, "Yeah, yeah, I'm all right." Like, what the hell did I just see?
I felt the same way when I first heard Stu Ham
Yeah, oh
uh,
yeah, oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
what's the name? The album Basically Speaking.
Brian
Um
Bromberg.
Brian Bromberg. Brian
Yeah,
Bromberg. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, blown away. So
yeah.
let's talk about your tour for a minute.
Okay.
Tell the folks, explain the theme of the We the People tour. What was the theme of that show?
Um, it was going back through the years of was it Declaration of Independence? I think it was like We the People, something like that. I think it was, yeah.
Okay.
And so we had to do songs from the different eras of the military.
Okay.
So we did stuff like I say the 20s and the 30s and the 40s. And well, let me give you the theme of the show. This alien um, came down to Earth and he met up with two humans. No, let me switch it up. Two aliens came to the Earth, and the first person they met was this nerd.
Okay.
And the space people were saying, "Hey, what is up with your land here? What's going on here?" And so he had to teach them the history of the United States.
Okay. All right.
So while he's teaching them the history of the United States, he had to go back to different eras. They programmed stuff because they realized he realized that they can go to this machine and go back in time. So he
Oh,
said,
okay.
"Oh." So he accidentally pressed the button and went back to the 20s.
Oh,
And next thing you know, we all out there playing
yeah.
Say the Bones for Mr. Jones and all
Yeah.
that stuff.
Sing
You know,
Sing
and
and
it
yeah.
yeah, yeah, man. And it was cool. And he just kept going up to the I want to say we didn't do the 70s. No, it was the 60s that we didn't do because of
Oh,
all the stuff that was
yeah.
going on
Yeah,
during
yeah.
that time. Yeah, because the 70s we did a lot of Bee Gees
I was gonna say you must did
and
some you must had a disco set practically.
oh my goodness. And
Yeah.
you know them disco bass lines are already hard,
Yeah.
but now you're doing them at 200 clicks.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my
I was
God.
gonna say.
Doom, 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 doom,
Yeah,
doom, doom,
yeah.
doom, 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 doom. Shake it, shake it. I'm like, I didn't think I ever get through that song, man, but we did. We had a ball with it, man. Yeah, man. I mean, it was
That's
doom,
great.
doom, 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 doom. And the thing about it is, I don't know if you know that Terry Griffey's the bassist.
Oh, I know that very well, sir.
Oh yeah. And so I kept asking him, I said, hey, I was into this thing of trying to make everything easier
Uh,
in the sense that because my brother had already told me years ago, he said, when you're playing, if you can't figure out how to get it, get the most comfortable position
yes.
to make it work.
Right.
And so I asked Terry for the fingering, and I think we had been on our 12th hour, 13th hour. So he laid back, eyes closed, and he just did something
Yep.
and he fell asleep. But that little bit that he showed me, I was like, oh, I don't use my ring finger. That's what it is. I'm trying to do it with the just three fingers.
Uh,
And it worked. And then when Barry would show you this stuff, man. It was like it just clicked.
yeah.
But yeah, him and Terry, man, oh, I love them cats, man.
Well,
Uh,
Terry, when we were doing they'd send us music ahead of time. Vicky, a lot of the jazz pieces before we got to
yeah.
staging.
Uh-huh.
So I learned Vicky and Mr. Valves at home, that
Uh-huh.
instrumental. And then when we got to staging, we played a few times for Terry, and I thought I was, doing it pretty good. And
Yeah.
Dave, Dave. Oh, by the way, prior to us arriving at staging, Terry had smashed his hand in those back doors and back of those big sliding
Oh,
doors
yeah, yeah,
where the equipment
yeah.
was at. And
Yeah.
he had these two fingers wrapped up. Maybe it was even three fingers. Anyways, he says, "Let me show you." I give him the Steinberger. He plays Mickey and Mr. Valves with like two fingers on his fret hand, and I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Ain't that
"What?"
something?
Oh, it was
Yeah,
amazing. It was amazing.
yeah, yeah.
So was this? Tell me about the actual set. Was it a complicated set you guys had? Was there a lot of moving parts, or was it
Yes, it
pretty
was.
static?
We didn't have back a lot of backdrops like the later years,
Hmm.
but it was a spaceship and the two wings closed and opened up to a stage where the performers were going through the different years.
Yeah.
We were in the spaceship, so the section for the guitars and the bass, we had our punches or where we were like on the computers and stuff.
Yep.
And then the other side was the sax and the keyboardists and had there. Now remember, we had live drums at that time.
Plus, you had
And
mic'd chords.
yes, and we had live drums and we had electric drum set on the other wing.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, and that worked out great, man.
You guys had an electric kit in '87?
We had the electric kid who was playing all the percussion stuff
Right.
and a live drummer. And the drums, I think was like Simmons or something like that. The Simmons drums or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. And matter of fact, the guy who made the tour, we did like four shows. I forgot where we were, but the risers for the drummers were way up there.
Hmm.
The wind got to blowing. He fell off, broke his hand. So we
Oh,
had to get a
nice.
replacement. Yeah.
Wow.
I can't remember his name. He was a good cat too, man. Real, he was a hell of a percussionist too, you
Wow.
know. But yeah, our stage was pretty cool. We had a lot of room in the middle.
Hmm.
Um, but the only time the musicians can come down is when they changing the set and
Yeah.
changing clothes and this stuff. So we do crazy things while we're down there and make us seem like we were part of the show, you
Right.
know.
Right. Right. Right.
But yeah, our set was it was metal and steel and heavy as crap.
Lots, lots of
But
blinking stuff.
I got a funny story about our stage though.
Okay.
Okay,
Please.
we have our back to the audience because of the way the stage flips out.
Okay.
So we're waiting, and the song goes, and so the people, the set crew is pushing us out slowly, slowly, slowly,
Right.
but it got stuck on one of the wires,
Of course.
and uh, no, no, well, we call him Paco. Paco was forcing it, and when he forced it too much, I fell off the stage. And you remember how the Steinbergers was on that swivel?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's how I got this.
No, that you got a Steinberger scar?
Yeah, man. That Steinberger hit me right here. One leg is still on the stage, the other leg is hanging off the stage, and I broke two strings. And I'm still playing though the song.
Oh, of
I
course.
mean, I'm
Yeah.
not missing a part.
Yeah.
I just adjusted and say, okay,
Yeah.
I'm jumping around.
Yeah.
But um, I had end up having to do the rest of the show behind stage because I cut myself here. Blood ran all the way down my chest, and then I kind of gash on my leg because the leg that was stuck on the stage hit a bolt,
Yeah.
and I was stuck there, man. It was funny because one side of the stage was over after we watched the videos that next
Yeah.
morning.
Yeah.
Everybody's laughing, and so I got fined. I know that. I forgot how
Oh,
much
you
I had
got
to pay
fined.
that. Oh, I got
Yeah.
fined.
Yeah.
I was like, what the is wrong with y'all, man?
Yeah.
But
Wow.
it was funny. It was funny,
So
man.
would you qualify that as one of your biggest onstage mishaps?
Let me see. Yes.
I would think so.
Yes. But
I would
no,
think
because it was a
so.
couple of them. It was a couple of them. Oh, yeah. That was
Okay.
one. The other one was I was not paying attention because if you remember, I told you earlier, I flew home, got married, flew
Yep.
out that next morning. We were having a
Yep.
show that evening.
Yep.
My mind is like, I just got married. Oh my goodness. And I missed the whole cue.
Wow.
I mean, they started the song, and I'm like, oh no. And I just run up there on stage, fake like, and this is the funny part. I'm up there pressing buttons like I was supposed to press a button, and then I
Yeah.
go back to playing the bass because my bass was laying.
Oh,
I took too
wow.
long getting back up there. I was like, wow, I just got married, man. Oh my goodness, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was another crazy one. We had some stuff, you know.
Well,
Yeah, yeah,
all of us have those kind of stories. I mean, my our
yeah.
ver- my
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
our very first show in front of the basic trainees, the techs wanted me to hang my bass up on this hook because I was up on the upper level.
Uh-huh.
And while I go down and change my clothes, I put up on the hook, and I'm on my way down the side of the stage, and the bass fell straight to the ground. It bounced.
Wow.
Steinberger bounced. A tech grabbed it. I'm changing my clothes. Go up. We're getting ready to do the jazz set now, and the bass is totally dead, just completely
Wow.
broke. And the spare didn't have a battery in it, so
Oh.
dude, they're feeding me a bass underneath the curtain behind me, and I'm kind of dancing there, trying to take my stuff off, trying to act all
Yeah.
cool. I get it, volume up,
Nothing. Nothing.
nothing. So I played, with the exception of the opening number, Lorenzo, the entire first show was completely bassless. And Roy Mills, our drummer, the mallet, on the opening number, the mallet came right off his for his bass drum. He had no mallet, he had no bass drum the whole show.
Oh, look.
So there was no bass and no bass drum. It was crazy. But
Oh, that was a thin
anyway,
show. But
oh
then
yeah,
again, you know how it is. They didn't want a lot of low end in the music anyway. So most of the
correct.
people didn't hear it
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah. Who knows where I was on the mix anyways, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
oh yeah, they didn't know. They just saw you smiling and dancing. You
Yep.
know?
So
Oh man.
so what other than the the things that happen on stage to us, what's a moment that's really etched in your mind on that tour that just what's a really etched?
I got to say this.
Okay.
This made me cry, and even to this day, I still think about it. We were doing a show in the Calumet,
Okay.
and you know how after the show we stand in the line and boy, girl, all the way
Hmm.
down, and I mean, wow. Okay, there was a lot of elderly people coming up,
Hmm.
and Alley Cat was next to me, Allison, and on this side of me was her best friend. Oh God, what's her name? God, she was just at Chief's thing. But anyway, lady comes over and she shakes Alley Cat's hand, and I went to go shake her hand, and she pulled back like this, and then walked to the next girl, and she says to her, she says, "Wow, you all look so natural dancing with those people." And man, it crushed me,
Wow.
and I always go back to something that happened in basic training where I said, you know something, I can't get mad at that lady. I
Yeah.
said, because looking at her, she looked like she's 90.
Yeah. So
Her
she's seen
generation,
things. Yep.
yes, she's seen things. And her generation, she probably didn't mean any harm by it, but
Yep.
it was just something that she probably never seen before,
Yep.
and it touched me at first. And we talked about it the next morning,
Hmm.
and they said, yeah, she didn't shake my hand either. And it was like all the black folks were saying, she didn't shake my hand. And I remember her. And I was like,
Hmm.
wow. But it was one guy who was in the wheelchair. He was a World War II vet.
Hmm.
And man, he held all of our hands long. He was like,
Yeah. Very
and
appreciative.
you felt it.
Yeah.
And that's what I missed the most, where after our shows, people will come up there and genuinely say, thank you,
Yeah.
thank you. And it was only until like the end of the tour where you're like, wow, all those hands we shook, they were genuine.
Yep.
They were genuine, man. I mean, and like you say, I didn't get to go overseas. The 89 year that I made the tour, I didn't complete the tour, but the overseas tour, I mean, you places remote assignments where people, they don't get any entertainment,
Right.
you
Yep.
know. And I could just imagine, like, what we did for these folks, man. It was
Well,
great.
people forgot or forgot easily that our job was to let people forget about life for an hour and a half.
Right. Ambassadors for that one
Yeah,
hour, man.
yeah. We give you an hour and a
One.
half so you can forget about your daily troubles and all your things. So we can just try to bring a
Yeah,
smile to your face and bring you music. Yep,
yes.
yep,
100%, man.
yep, yep.
Yeah, I mean, I look back on it now, and like I say, I keep all that in me. So wherever I go, when people come, we played the Keystone Corner the other day, and great show. And when
Hmm.
people walk up to you, I just want to give them a hug and say, "Thank you,
Yeah,
thank you." But they'll say, "Man, thank you, man. I felt everything you all was doing. I enjoyed it. Thank you." And I'm like, "Wow, wow, that's what it's all about, man.
yep,
That's
yep.
what they
I completely agree.
leave that ego someplace else, unless it's good ego, like Victor Wooten says,
Yep.
leave it out there, man,
Leave it out
because
the door.
you need to touch somebody.
Yep.
This is not for you, man. Touch them, you know.
What what's your least favorite part of touring
Hmm.
other than sleep, other than not having sleep?
I had no problems with any of it.
Okay.
And I'm gonna tell
Good.
you why. That's what bothers me today. That as I'm getting older and not playing as much, I like the practicing, the studying, the networking,
Mm.
the travel. I
The
like
discipline.
all
You
of
like the discipline
it.
of it.
Just yeah, man. I don't, sleep is a waste of time. I know it's unhealthy, but it's like,
Yeah, yeah.
man, I just want to like sometimes I'll come in here. Look, this is a musician's house. And when I
Uh-huh.
say it like that, I'm saying studio up here, and my
Uh-huh.
basement looks like a concert hall.
Right.
So I have no excuse.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
So there's times where I walk in and out of these rooms and I said, my drive is not where it needs to be because
Right.
I loved it. I loved it so much. I don't want to half-ass anything. Excuse my language,
No,
you
you're right.
know.
Yep.
But it's like sometimes I come in here and I had these headphones on, knowing I have to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and be at work at 5 or 6, and I'm just getting to sleep at 3:15.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like I'm studying stuff. I like if I'm playing with a band that I say I gotta, make things work, make things happen. I'll study it. I'll watch videos and read books and all that stuff, I love the whole process of it because that's how I grew up.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
rehearsals that
And
the
that's the key
theater
right
rehearsal.
there. That's the key
Yeah,
right
yeah,
there.
yeah.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
What did you ever think about on tour? Did you ever think about just quitting? Did you ever think about wanting just putting your hands up and say, I want to go home?
Many times in the beginning.
Okay.
And it was because, like you say, I didn't understand what was going on.
Yeah.
Meaning that, you know, say the band had 8 people in it, and 6 of us is getting it, or 6 of us not getting it,
Hmm.
and they making us go over and over part, over and over, over and
Yeah.
over, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my goodness. And then when it hit me, when I was the weakest link, I started looking around saying, I need to step up.
Yeah.
Because it was too many times I was saying, "Hold up, man, I don't think I can. I'm slumming. I don't know how to play this music." And
Hmm.
that's the funny thing too. When we got to the country and western set, Terry said something to me that to this day I laugh at, but I didn't laugh then. I thought I was playing the song correct.
Hmm.
He said, "Hey man, you know how he is with his glasses.
Yep.
You need to put some manure in that line.
Hmm.
This is not jazz.
Oh,
Put some manure in it." You
see,
know?
you had a little bit different experience than I did because I had never played a jazz lick or a country lick till I got to staging.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
So,
Wow.
and the jazz, the country stuff wasn't, obviously nearly as tough as the jazz stuff, but dude, I'd never
Yeah.
played a jazz piece in my life till I
Yeah.
got to
Yeah.
staging. So
Yeah.
that was my
Yo,
that was
be
my
honest with you, neither did I really, but I've been around it.
yeah,
I
I
was
hadn't been
around it.
around it. It wasn't even
Yeah.
part of my genre.
Yeah. So that's why when I heard the country,
Yeah, yeah.
he said, no, you're playing jazz.
Yeah.
You got to put that manure. It's a little different twang to that
Well,
bass line that makes it the space on it.
okay.
That you can't be
When to play
playing
and when not
quarter,
to play. Yep.
yeah, quarter notes, half notes. Nah, half notes,
Well,
whole notes.
it's
Yeah.
like Bernie told me one time. So we had lost an exceptional keyboard player and we lost our guitar player in Europe, and those they were going to be gone. There was going to be no replacements
Hmm.
for them. So I got to open up on the bass a little bit, do some more chord work and stuff just to fill in the
Yeah,
holes.
yeah.
And Bernie, we were rehearsing one time. Bernie came over to Europe to rehearse with us, and it was something the patriotic set. And I turned something into a big fat chord, and Bernie goes, "Dave, not everything's a rock chord. Just anything that's not a rock chord, Dave. Okay, you don't have to use your entire flamenco hand to get through the chord, Dave."
Yeah,
So I was like, he
yeah.
said, just bring it down a little bit, Dave.
Just
All
bring
right,
it
all right,
down, bring it
just bring it down a
down.
little bit, Dave. Yeah, okay, I got you, I got you.
Yeah.
All right, so I got a lot of cool miscellaneous questions here. This is to
Okay, go
find out
ahead.
this is to find out more stuff about Lorenzo.
Okay.
Did you ever hit the wall after the tour? Did you ever hit that wall that supposedly Pryor's hit when everything all of a sudden shuts down and stops and you're no longer on a schedule anymore? You don't have your
Um,
family around. Did you hit the wall?
I didn't hit it like most people, and I'm gonna tell you why. I went from the tour ending, Linda Campbell and um, Alan Raysaw and somebody else. We were in the DC area. We
Okay.
we were all from there. So we
Yep.
hung out that New Year's and did some other stuff. And right in there, I was PCSing.
Oh, okay.
So I left there. I didn't have that time to do that. We
There was no
breaking
time to
down the
sit down and
house.
reflect. Yeah.
Right. So when we
Yeah.
got to Japan, the first place I went was to the rec center.
Hmm.
Somebody told me that the rec center stays open 24 hours. I was like, what?
What?
So that first I went there, and next thing you know, I met musicians that first week that, they were going in jam and weren't doing anything of substance. And they heard that I was from Thompson Blue. They were like, "What, you Thompson Blue?" I said, "Yeah." And that week we put a band together
Oh, wow.
and we started practicing. And
Yeah.
and probably another month later, we're doing gigs. And then I hooked up with this Japanese guy named Popcorn, played drums. And I didn't hit it like most people, but I saw the potential because it was like, what you mean? I can't practice tonight. Or what you got to do a swing shift tonight? Oh, you on the mids? What?
Yeah.
Then I was sitting at home like nothing to do. But what I did when that wall was getting close,
Hmm.
that's when I got more into the keyboards.
You
I
started.
bought a drum, I bought a drum set. So, I'm in there. I had pads on it and everything. So I'm working out. I'm
Yeah.
working out like I did with my roommate back at Fort Meade. Because my wife, she had the what they call it, 2, 2, and 2 or something like that. Two
Hmm.
days of mids, 2 days of
Yeah.
days, 2 days of
Worst
swing.
schedule ever.
Yeah, man. And so when she wasn't there on times, I just been there practicing. And then it snowed a lot over there during that time. So, man,
Yeah.
I stayed home and practiced. But you're right, though. Some people do hit that wall.
Yeah.
Some people, and I've seen it,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And I also,
There are some qualifiers for PTSD after tour for some people.
I will say so.
Yeah.
I will say so. And like I say, I seen it.
Yep.
I seen it. I will call people up. They don't want to talk about
Yeah.
Thompson Blue.
Yep.
I was like, oh, I'm sorry. And
Yeah.
I'm like, but you had a good time or two. Yeah, you know, I, it's one guy, like I mentioned his name earlier. Nobody's talked to him since 87.
Wow.
Hell of a singer, falsetto voice and everything. And
Hmm.
then I ran into a guy on Facebook that looked just like him because I put in his name, and it just so happened to be his son. I called his son up and said, "Hey, hey, your father was on tour with me in Thompson Blue and da 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 da." And I said, "Man, give him my number, because I see he's not on Facebook." So the kid calls me back and said, "Uh, yeah, man, then he's not gonna call you. I can tell you now." I said, "Oh, okay, but did you give him the information?" He said, "Yes, I did." And I said, "Wow, I wonder what happened, you
Yeah.
know." But
Yeah.
and that was 40 years ago, man. Well,
That's
almost,
almost 40 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
Think about that.
yeah.
What
But
was I know I get one of my questions here is would you go again? Obviously you went again
oh
in
heck yeah.
'89 for a while. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I would, man, I want to go as many times as I could. But remember back in those days, it was hard to go consecutive tours.
Yeah, yeah. Yep.
They didn't like that too much.
Yep.
Unless when they start bringing in the horn sections, yes, they did that because it's always hard to find horn players.
Yep.
But it was too much competition, man.
Hmm.
400 people every year competing
Yeah.
for 50 spots, you
Yep.
know, and you make it year after year, you're great.
Yeah.
And I couldn't compete anyway because I had just got to Japan, and my commander was like, no,
Yeah. Yeah.
you're going PCS here and then leave right away, you know.
That's understandable.
Yeah,
What
it's understandable.
Yep. What was the first record you ever bought?
Um, I didn't buy it. My brother, no, I'm not. High school, Parliament Funkadelic and Bootsy Collins.
Wow, of course. That's
Yes, those
that's
was
the
my two
perfect
right there.
answer.
Yes, that had to been ninth grade, ninth
Okay.
grade. And then that same year, we went to the Capitol Center to see Parliament. And then Boosie was on that show too. And then I
Uh,
saw Boosie again. But then my senior year in high school or junior year, my brother took me to Constitution Hall to see this group called Return to Forever. And he said, that's the guy Stanley Clark.
yeah.
I said, oh, that's the album that you gave me. He bought me a two record set of Stanley Clark,
Uh-huh.
and that stuff was way over my head at that time, but I
Oh
could
yeah.
listen to it all
All day.
day,
Yeah.
night long.
Yep.
It just was so far over my head, I couldn't start anything to like see what he's playing. I was way
Yeah.
over my head
Yeah.
because I
But
was
it's
still
fun
in
to
that
listen
funk.
to. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. I got a funny story about that too.
Yeah.
I played with this guy named Al Williams, saxophonist. Matter of
Okay.
fact, we did the RNC years ago in Minneapolis when I think Obama was running 2008.
Yeah.
And he showed me some pictures backstage one time. He said, no, in the green room. He said, yeah, I just found these in my chest. I got to get all these pictures together. I said, whoa. He had a bush then. He was the saxophone player on that two record set live thing that Stanley Clark did. They
Shut
went to
up.
high school. They went to high school together.
Unbelievable.
Yep. This guy, I
Wow.
mean, I play with him all the time. He's a hell of a sax player. Al Williams the third, man. He is so good. Older gentleman can play his butt, and he plays with us with the David Bach consort too, every now and then. But that dude can play, man. Yeah,
Wow.
man. It's a small world, man. Six
It
degrees
is a small
separation.
world. Yeah, no
Yeah.
kidding.
Stay humble. You ain't got to brag about who you met, who you play with, all that stuff. Just
Yep.
enjoy the ride, man.
Yep.
Enjoy the
What
ride.
what was your first paying gig? Do you remember
My
your first paying
first
gig?
paying gig, hmm, that had to be when I was at Fort Meade. Yeah, when I came back to Fort Meade. No, 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 no. We got paid over in Japan. Yeah, we got paid in Japan. But in the States, my first gig is when I got back from Japan.
Okay.
And we put a band together, real good band. Matter of fact, the keyboard player was getting kicked out of the Naval Academy, and he was living on a boat. And we used to rehearse on his boat. And he had arrangements to all of the hip stuff during that time, the kashifs, oh man, just all that funky stuff, man, that was going on,
Hmm.
mostly keyboard stuff, the time stuff. He had that stuff, the time and print stuff down, dude. And we were playing all that stuff. And that's when we started getting paid, but it was only like $25,
Yeah, yeah.
you know.
But it
And we
was
was
your
happy with
but
we
you were
were
getting
still in the
paid for
military. I
you were
got
getting paid for your skill though. You were getting paid for
yeah,
your
I
skill.
got a check. I wasn't worried about. He said, "Oh yeah, they're gonna pay us $100,
Yeah,
and it's five people in the band." It's
yeah.
like we didn't care.
Right.
And like I said, when I got back to Fort Meade, um, the guitar player that got me on tour, Don McQueen, we reconnected, and we put a band together, but that didn't last because he went TDY, and then I was talking about getting out, at the time. And that's the other thing about me getting out of the military. And I
Mm.
don't think I explained this to you or told you about this. When I was in Japan, I flew home on leave to audition for the Air Force Band at Bolin Air Force Base.
Oh no, I didn't know this story.
And I made the audition. The guy said, we can use you. So he gave me the paperwork to go back to my base. I went back to Japan, gave it to my commander. That's when we were setting up for the war in
Yeah,
89,
89,
89, 90.
90.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Desert Shield was picking
That's
up.
a
Yeah,
shield, yeah.
yeah,
And they weren't letting anybody out of their career field.
right.
You had to stay there. And I was like, and my first sergeant, he kept saying, man, don't just stay in, man. Don't worry about it. This ain't gonna last long. It's not gonna last long. The hold is gonna drop, and you're gonna be able to
Yeah.
go in. And I waited and waited, came back to Fort Meade, extended to get to Fort Meade, and it still hadn't dropped. Matter of fact, it started escalating a little bit more.
Hmm.
And I said, I got impatient, man. I got impatient. I said, I'm getting out.
Yeah.
And when I got out, I went tunnel vision. I mean, things were happening just like that. I was starting to play around town a lot. People started knowing my name other than Benjamin and Angelo's little brother.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, and I was like, out of the four top bass players in the area, I was like one of the four. You had Dave Dyson, Scott Ambush, Michael Bowie, a guy named Walter Cosby. I mean, these are cats that play with everybody, man, and
Yeah.
they were heavyweights. I mean, Scott Ambush himself, I mean, he's a couple of years younger than me, but my good, I knew him before he played with Spyro Gyra, man. This
Wow.
dude was like a mon. He was the first person who, other than me, had a six-string bass.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I tell you how funny that happened. I only played four-string till I got to Japan.
Hmm.
And I went to this concert and saw Tetsu Sakurai from Cassiopeia. So I went backstage and he, in his broken English, we just talking it out. He let me play his bass and it was so wide, but it felt good. I said, man, this is six strings. And he told me all about it. That next day I went to the Yamaha dealership,
Hmm.
bought me a six-string bass.
Yeah.
So I jumped from a four to a six.
Dude, I didn't play. I went from four to six. I never played a five string. I went from four to a six.
Yeah, yeah.
Never. And that was only because I want. The only reason that happened was when I walked to the music store for something else. There was that brand new Ibanez Sound Gear six string. It was
Oh
brand,
yeah,
and I just
yeah,
start
yeah,
just sitting
man.
there with the gold hardware. And the gal tells me, she says, "Yeah, he doesn't want it now because it came the wrong color." And I said, "How much do you want for it?" And she goes,
Yeah.
"Well, you better, if you want to just go ahead and jack into that amp and play, because she goes, six string's not for anybody." I fell in love with it. I fell in love with it immediately.
Yeah,
Absolutely
man.
immediately. Yeah.
Yeah, man. It worked for me at that time and it
Uh-huh.
was great. But what happened was the only reason why I got rid of it, and this is a crazy story. The neck had started bowing and it wasn't the truss rod, it was something else that was going on with it. And then it started getting a crack down the middle.
Oh,
And I took it to this place. I don't want to mention their name, even though they're out of business. But and the guy said, "Okay, we'll send it back to the Yamaha dealership." I think that was not the Japanese one, but it was another one. I think California or something like that. So I'm sitting
hmm,
around waiting. Here it is, 1 month, 2 month, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months. I'm like, "Hey man, where's my bass?" And they were like, "Oh, we got it. They supposed to be sending it back." And they sent me a brand new bass back, but it
oh,
wasn't the one that I had.
uh-huh.
I had a top of the line one like Tetsu Sakurai had
Okay.
with the double truss rod and the boosted up 18-volt preamp.
Hmm.
And so what they sent me back was a basic TRB.
Okay.
And I was so pissed. And I said, I don't want this, man. This is
Yeah.
not the bass that I gave you all. And I don't know what y'all going to do about it. And then that's when the guy said, well, hey, man, uh, go check some of the other bases that we have out and we'll make you a deal on it, a real good deal.
Hmm.
And next thing you know, I'm like, I don't see anything I want. Then I go TDY back to Japan, and I get over there, and I go down to this music store, and I seen a Tune Maniac.
Oh.
Yes, that was a burgundy bass, and I looked at it. I gave them that Yamaha that I had, the cheaper one, and they gave me such a great deal on it. Man, I grabbed that joker, I shipped it home before my TDY was up, and that was a good bass.
Hmm.
That was a good bass. This is a
Nice.
story why I don't have it now, but
Nice.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Well, we all make crazy decisions about the guitars that we own.
Oh yeah,
We
man.
do.
Yes.
What do you do? And then
Man.
do it just what do you do to what do you got going on the side just to relax and chill out?
You know, after my second divorce, I decided, I know that's crazy. My second divorce, I decided that, and some of us decided for me when you're talking about COVID happened right after I moved out and I stopped playing at church because I had too many friends. Matter of fact, the Walter Cosby guy I was telling you about, he's
Mhm.
the one who really got me in the club scene in DC when he gave me like my first sub gig. And all these guys were full-time musicians. I stopped being a full-time musician when I started working at the commissary since
Mhm.
'92.
Mhm.
And so I gave him my church gig. And so I pulled back. And then I think I pulled back a little bit too much because what happened was a lot of people didn't know I was around because I wasn't going out to clubs anymore. So I decided that I was going to start back my band, putting my band back together and start doing more than just 2 shows a year. Because I used to do 2 shows a year with my band. I don't know if I
Okay.
would tell you the name of my band. Have you heard it?
No,
Name of my band is Tofu Chitlins.
that's the best. That's the best name ever.
Tofu Chitlins.
That's the
Matter of
best
fact,
name ever.
I'm gonna send you. I showed Barry and them when we went to Chief's retirement. I
Hmm.
showed Barry and them this concert I did with it, and they were blown away, you know.
Mm.
And I play a bunch of Bromberg stuff. Then I do some of my originals and stuff. And because I realized all these songs I write from the piano,
Hmm.
I needed to start performing them
Oh,
because I
okay.
would write like for different bands and stuff, or
Hmm.
range and stuff. So yeah, Tofu Chitlins, man.
Nice.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
man.
YouTube the heck out of that.
Well, see, that's just it. Didn't post anything on YouTube.
Oh, you're out there. I'll find you somehow.
Not with that. Now I can
Okay.
send you. I'll see. That's just it. I need to do that. My
Yeah.
manager kept saying, "Why did you take it down?" I said, "The
Mm.
only reason why I took it down is because some of the songs, like I didn't want to put my originals on there, and I didn't want to put the cover tunes on there and get, in trouble with it." And she
Yeah,
said,
yeah, yeah.
"No, no, no. You just need to tell them, you're covering this song."
Yeah.
And by that time, and then at the same time, I wasn't all that savvy with it, but I'm going to repost it, a
Okay.
lot of the stuff.
Okay.
And yeah, man, it was a hot show. Every time we did it was a hot show, man. I did like a few festivals, you
Nice.
know.
Nice.
Yeah. And
What was
I
your
even go ahead.
what was your favorite TV show as a kid? I'm curious as to your when
That's
you were a
almost
little
that,
one,
that's
since
almost
Batman
63
gravitated to
years ago, man.
I know, but you had to have a favorite TV show as a kid.
Either Speed Racer or Ultraman.
Ultraman, no way.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I think it was Ultraman. And that's the other thing. When I got over to Japan, that's where all that stuff was from.
Yeah.
Speed
Yep.
Racer and all that stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah.
Speed Racer. Um, well, I will say it's another funny story. You know me, got fun.
Yeah.
I used to get up every Saturday morning before we went to the piano lessons or to the youth orchestra, and I think I was like eight, I think I say 10 years old,
Okay.
and I always ran downstairs to turn on this thing called Mulligan Stew.
I remember Mulligan Stew.
Okay, well then
Yeah.
you know my brother then.
Yeah.
My
Really?
oldest brother, The kid that had the little apple hat on.
Yes.
That's my oldest brother.
Are you
It's,
kidding me?
yeah, and this is the funny thing because he walked downstairs and I'm looking at television and I'm looking at him and I'm like, how are you here and there at the same time? And it was so funny, man.
Wow.
Mulligan's through the 4-H company. Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. Oh,
What was
Benny,
your
man.
what was your favorite movie? What's your favorite movie of all time? Something that comes on TV
All
that you always
time?
stop. Always stop. Yeah, whenever it comes on the TV, you just have to watch a few scenes of it.
Okay. Um, The Green Mile,
Excellent choice.
Shawshank, um,
Also excellent
uh,
choice.
what's any one of the Equalizers.
Oh, okay.
Um, it was another one we were just talking about. Oh God, because I don't want to mess that one up. That every time it comes on, oh God,
What's
with
a scene? Give me a scene from the movie.
um, when oh God, what was that? They called him Creasy. It was Denzel. They called him Creasy in the movie.
Oh,
Oh, they called the girl, little girl. Her father had her kidnapped. Oh man, I can't remember.
yeah, I gotta think too. I
But
know
but
what you're talking about.
it's a bunch of so I have no favorite because I'm one of the people I can watch a movie if I really like it. I don't care how many times it come, I'm gonna watch it. And it's probably
Yep,
like about a good 10 or 12 of them that I can watch
yep,
over and over again. Now there's some movies that I'm like, I gotta pull back. I gotta pull back.
yep,
I don't watch
yep,
that 12 times, you know.
yep.
Uh, yeah, we're movie buffs, man. I go to movies all the time, and then when it comes on television, now that movie that just came out, Sinners,
Yeah.
I watched that at the movie theater twice, and so far I watched it at home 3 times. So that's 5 times.
Wow.
So I'm just trying to figure it out,
Yeah.
because I didn't want to watch the commentaries on it. I wanted to
Yeah.
see what it was, and then when I started listening to the commentary, I said, "Oh, I missed that." Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's like, of course, like stuff like The Godfather, I mean, it's, all that
Yeah.
stuff, man.
All right.
Yeah.
And what I like to end with, and I end this with all the priors I talked to, what prior has influenced you the most?
Other than Bernie,
Or you can say Bernie, whatever prior, just what prior?
yeah, Bernie, and man, I gotta go with Zeph, man.
Bernie and
And,
Zeph. That's
yeah, and like I say, because Bernie, he was like my older brother.
mhm,
The stuff he was saying, it was like I was listening to my older brother, and I picked it up right away. And it was like, oh, okay, that's what he asked me to do. And like I say, even after talking, we would talk,
mhm.
and or he would come to some of my shows before he started back playing.
Yeah.
But Zeph, we had a friendship that was, yeah, yeah, it was no competition. I love what he was doing
Yeah.
and I love his thought process. But that's I'm saying all of that, but after meeting people like Jim Whitmire, Daryl,
Mhm,
all the people that was a part of the Air Force Most Dangerous Band. I
mhm.
mean, everybody brought something.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Even like Barry, he's not a prior, but it took me a little while to read Barry. But once I understood where he was coming from, he had a lot to do with um, helping me get back to my way of thinking in the sense of I'm not gonna just play this. I'm gonna study
Yeah.
this, what I'm doing, you
Mhm.
know.
Yeah.
But I have to say, if I'm gonna put my two top, it would definitely be Bernie and Zeph. You
I get
know.
it. I
Yeah, and when
totally get it.
did you compete at Andrews anytime when they were there, when they were the house band there, when they first started?
I didn't compete. No, I'm sure I was helping. I mean, I worked all the worldwides from 94 with the exception of like
Okay.
two
So
years
you were
all the way
the,
up to the end.
you so
I was
you
there
were
at any.
there.
Yeah.
Do you know how I got back into the system?
No. How?
Out of the blue, I get a call
No pun
from
intended.
Barry. I get a call from Barry, don't know who he is.
Yeah.
And he said, Hey, um, uh, Zeph gave me your number. His bases didn't come in from Germany, and he needs to rent your base. He asked me, did I have any bases that he could rent for worldwide? I said, okay. All I'm thinking, damn, I can't ship it down to Texas. He
Mm,
said, no, we're over here at the Fairfield something
yeah.
by Andrews. I said, well, I know exactly where that is. So late that night, I brought Zeph my Tune Maniac bass
Hmm.
and another bass. I can't remember who it was. And so I stayed and watched a couple of their rehearsals. I was like, wow. Also, Priors are doing it now. I'm like, oh, this is cool, you know. So I hung out a little bit, but I couldn't make it to the shows. But I got back in there, and Barry called me a few years later and said, "Hey, Zeph has some prior stuff he can't do worldwide anymore. Can you
Yeah.
do it?" And I said, "Cool,"
Yeah.
you know. And at that time, I was on tour with Patti LaBelle, so it was like, "Oh shoot, I'm going to do this," you know. So, but it worked out. It worked out. It was rough
No.
that first year because I had to fly out to Utah, got stuck at the airport, stuck on the runway, and made it back to worldwide. You know, man, that was rough, man. You know,
Well, I can't tell you how much it meant for me to talk to you tonight.
man, my pleasure, bro.
I couldn't wait to do this. Again, I'm a fanboy around Lorenzo for
Yeah,
obvious reasons.
yes,
I've learned. I mean, again, we haven't had a chance to sit down and talk or play in front of each other, but I've seen you play enough to know that. Again, I'm gonna say you're one of the cats. You and Zeph,
yeah,
you guys are the cats. So
man. I appreciate you 100%. But and let me say this because this is the truth. Please, anytime you need me, I'm there, bro. You're just
I
a hop and
appreciate that.
skip and jump away from me. I
Yep,
don't mind coming up there because I know if I come up there, we're gonna get some things done, whether we just talk or we
yep,
play or we have insight, man.
yep,
The love I have for you has always been, and I always keep you in my prayers about your son because I remember when that happened and I was like, wow. And when we did that song for you, I
yep,
felt it. It was like,
yep.
wow,
Yeah.
this is a brother friend forever
Yeah,
right here.
yeah, that was a special
You know?
moment for me. Yeah, it
Yeah,
was. It was.
yeah,
It was very cool. It was nice of Barry to, to even allow me to hang
yeah,
out with you guys
yeah,
to do that. So it was very
yeah.
cool.
Yes, indeed, man.
Well,
Without a
don't
doubt.
hang up. We're gonna do our official goodbyes. Don't hang up. I want to talk to you after we
Okay.
stop the record buttons, but I want let the folks know. Folks, listen, he's one of the cats. He toured with the 1987 stateside. We Are the People tour, an Air Force veteran, which is just as important as everything else we've talked about tonight. I love him dearly. And ladies and gentlemen, for the final show of season 2 of the Priory, Lorenzo Sandman Sands.
That
So,
is,
so folks,
yes,
we'll see you sometime in May. I'm gonna take a little time off, but much love
yes.
to you, Lorenzo. Don't go away. And thanks, man. I appreciate you coming on.
All right, man. Love you, brother.